Have you ever felt like you don't quite belong on this planet? Like you're seeing the world through different eyes, picking up on energies and emotions that others seem oblivious to? Maybe you've always sensed there was something more, something beyond the mundane day to day that most people are caught up in. Or perhaps you're raising a child who seems wise beyond their years, struggling to fit into a world that doesn't understand their gifts. If you or someone you love is extremely sensitive, often overwhelmed, and yearning for a deeper connection, could you be a starseed? You're listening to or watching the Sedona Soul Sisters show, where we share psychic guidance and healing for embodied spiritual awakening. I'm Christelle Arcucci, and I'm on a mission to support spiritual practitioners to access your intuition, unlock your psychic gifts, and live your purpose. A big thanks to our listeners all over the world, and a special shout out and a boost of love to our listeners in Melbourne, Australia. You can schedule virtual starseed readings with Terri-Ann at sedonasoulsisters.com/Terri-Ann. Link in the show notes. Each breath you take aligned with love repairs the healing web on planet Earth. I'm very excited to invite you to join the Manifest with Desire series, where we unlock the power of your deepest longings to create the life you've always dreamed of. Explore how to align your chakras, tap into your intuition, and live your soul's purpose. Get ready to transform your desires into reality. If you would like to receive all of the resources from the entire free Manifest with Desire series, visit manifestwithdesire.com and enter your name and email. I am so excited that Terri-Ann Russell is on the show with me, and one of her specialties is doing starseed readings. We start by talking a little bit about how Terri-Ann got into this work, what starseeds are, and then she does a mini reading for me. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Thank you so much for being with us today, Terri-Ann.
Thank you for having me, Christelle. It's always a pleasure.
I'd love to start with you telling us about what starseeds are and what you do in starseed readings.
So let's just go back a little bit. Connecting with spirit was very natural for me from when I was a child. And that was really difficult to start to explain to people what I did when I came into the business. When I moved to Sedona, things started opening up where I started being connected with extraterrestrials, interdimensionals. I could see portals. And Roz played a big part in that new transition that I was going through, that transformation. And it was scary for me then to be able to come out and say, well, this is what I talk about. And I connect with these other worldly beings. And I started learning more about star seeds and what star seeds were. And I believe that my daughter's a star seed from the minute she was conceived. I knew she was different, and she is definitely a crystal baby. So I began to delve into, in my work, learning all that I could about her, because at that time she was bleeding internally. She was to every doctor in the country and nobody could help her. I was looking for alternate ways to see what was going on. And what I learned from my research was that starseed children are very extra sensitive. She had, when I looked down the list and the questions that I ask people when they sign up for a starseed journey is, are you extra sensitive? Are you allergic to foods and medicines and things like that? I became aware that there was this deep connection. And I had always felt this deep connection, but I didn't understand what it was. I would look out into the stars at night and I would just feel a sense of home. I never felt like I really belonged here. So as I started doing research for my daughter, I started to uncover a lot of stuff about myself and those connections that I still hold. Starseeds really are people that are born here, and there can be many different incarnations. As you know, we've come here many times to play this game. The closer we get to what we're supposed to be doing, the more that it comes on board and the more we learn. They have this lineage within them, where they come from, and at the time that it's supposed to be activated. And that's why we're going to start talking and seeing more people talk about star seeds and extraterrestrials. So star seeds really are just people with this lineage connected to the celestials. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And one of the questions I have that I imagine other listeners and viewers will have is that When I was a kid, I always used to point to the Pleiades and say, those are my stars. Long before I knew they were called the Seven Sisters, long before I knew they were a special star system. In the last few years, there's more conversations about this. When I hear about the other dominant starseed lineages, there's aspects that I resonate with different ones. Some of my own experiences of what I would call galactic consciousness. I know so many of the healing gifts that I have access to in this lifetime are from other places.
So how I like to explain it is sort of like your nationality or your ethnicity, right? You say, I'm Italian. So I have this nationality of being Italian, but I wasn't born in Italy. I was born here. And so if you go back through my lineage, obviously those things were passed down to my parents, to me, to my children, and it continues on. So how my guides explained it to me was that we come here and we have a main place where our soul originated. But because we've come here, like you said, maybe for you it was the Pleiades, and that was a resonance within you when you were a child. Now, because that remembrance is still there, but as you've come in incarnation after incarnation after incarnation, there's many different ones that you relate to. And from what I know right now, the ones that I've heard about or connected with, I know of at least 80 species that I know about, and I'm sure there's plenty more of them that I don't even know about. So there can be many that we resonate with based on how many incarnations you had and where you visited then after you left here and after you died. Did you go back to the ladies or did you go to Andromeda? I'm the same as you. I have ones that I feel are really innate within me, but then I also have characteristics of others. And I can relate that back to the nationality of Italian. My father was Napolitan and my mother was Sicilian. So I have pieces of both of those. I look Napolitan, I don't look Sicilian. My mother's all Sicilian, black hair, dark skin. So I have pieces of that lineage within me. It's the same thing with our starseed lineage. It's carried within ourselves. And so when you're ready, you open up to what that is now, right? And I tell people try not to get caught up, like within a reading. Try not to get too caught up into what I'm saying, but just know what resonates within you because you have that deep within you, that wisdom's already there, right? And I'm just telling you something that maybe is going to uncover and put you on your path to go in another direction.
And have you ever found anybody that signed up for a starseed reading or was drawn to the starseed conversation that didn't have starseed lineage, or is everybody that's interested in it considered a starseed? Is that what you have found?
I have everybody that's been interested in has had some sort of starseed. I don't know for sure if we're all starseeds, if we all start in that one place, wherever your soul originated. I don't know any of that yet. I don't have a definite answer. What resonates with me is that we all are starseeds.
Yes. And people who are drawn to it, it's helpful in their human evolution of understanding who they are and what their gifts are. What is the main benefit that you find for people who are drawn to it? And then when they do a reading, what is the main benefit for them in what's next in their life?
Yeah, so not even just readings, but in general, because I work with a lot of children and because my daughter had issues, a lot of autistic kids, a lot of kids that are coming in are very sensitive. They're on the sensitivity scale. It's the parents that are trying to figure out how can I help my child more in this crazy world when they're so sensitive. There's sounds, there's smells, there's medicines, there's foods, there's light. These children are extra sensitive because they're brought here to change the world as we go forward. So the parents are starting to say, well, why are they different and what is it about them? And so that's usually what brings in my clients sometimes is that they have a child that is extra sensitive and they're trying to understand how can they better help their child through this experience. And they find out within themselves then that maybe they're a star seed. And then they have other questions about for themselves, like, well, what did I sign up for? And what is my soul purpose? And what is my soul gift? And how do I find out more? And so that's what I found with my experience.
That's great to know. So, parents who have very sensitive children can come to you for a reading about their child.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's very good to know.
Before we were meeting, I was in meditation and just asking, what should we talk about? What should it look like? I heard sacred sexuality. And I was a little bit taken aback because I didn't know how to approach you. And it's funny because people come into a session with this expectation of how the human mind thinks it should be. And what I found is it's never what the human mind thinks it should be. It's going to always be what your soul is guided to bring you through those sessions.
Yes. And I have my own experience of that in doing sessions. Sometimes people don't want to hear what I have to say, or they come in with an expectation. One of the biggest challenges is people come in and they want me to predict the future. And that's not what I do. I'm interested in co creating the future with you. What do you want to be creating? And they come in with this really strong attachment like, why aren't you telling me what's going to happen? Because there's other possibilities, right? What is most likely to happen is probably not that interesting. Let's create your dreams. That is much more interesting to me. And so when you said it before we started the recording, because I'm in this pivot with the Sedona Soul Sister show and the business itself, I was like, well, that's what I get for having psychics and intuitives working with me is they come in, hey, this is the topic, sacred sexuality. Okay, here we go. We'll see what happens. I'm up for the adventure.
Okay. So what I do typically in my sessions is it's a 1 hour session. And I do a journey to begin with because I think spiritual hypnosis is it brings a true relaxation. It helps put that conscious mind at the back and it helps the client relax so that they can be in a space of accepting whatever's coming through. So I start with the journey first and I take them on a 30-minute journey through meeting their lineage and going home. And then the other 30 minutes of my session is done with the Starseed Oracle deck from Rebecca Campbell. As you were talking about co-creating the universe, this part of the work that I do, this celestial part, is a process, right? It's merely to start planting that seed for them to go and go deeper into what it is. It's the star seeds and to learn all that you can about why you're here, what your purpose is. And so that's what I do in the reading part of my sessions.
Fantastic. Well, I'm ready.
We're going to do a little reading here. Prepared some notes that came through earlier as well, so I can stay on track. That's the first one. So this one, I asked about Christelle's soul gift. And the soul gift, what are you here to express? What are you here to share? And the card is the courageous peony. It says multifaceted, unique nature, and let yourself be seen. I was like, wow. What I hear when I connect with this card, so how I do my readings, maybe a little bit different than what somebody's used to, but I read the card, I connect with the card, I ask what's coming through for my client. And so for you, what's coming through is embracing that uniqueness that's within you. We all have a special gift, a special uniqueness that we're meant to share. And even though we can have commonalities, it's this uniqueness that makes us who we are and what we need to share and when we step into the spotlight. So for you, it's more embracing what those true qualities are, even if it scares the heck out of you. The second card that I pull is always related to the karmic wounds. What kind of wound did you have when you came here? What are you looking to heal while you're here? This card too, just gorgeous. I just love the colors. I know the computer doesn't do it justice, but they're just gorgeous. So there's a lot of teals and pinks and purples. And this is called empathic starseed, energetic sovereignty, and absorbing what's not yours. I feel like for you, there's a little bit of a struggle that goes on mentally. What sign are you?
I'm a Capricorn sun.
I feel like you have a lot of thoughts running through your head all the time. There's a lot going on in the human brain aspect of Christelle, and that sort of gets in the way of intuitive side of you. Is that accurate? Sort of banging heads?
It depends. Definitely working with clients, it's easier to get out of the way. I would say the biggest
Yes.
challenge that I have is that I'm an idea person. I have all of these ideas, and my human self can't keep up with all of them. Like I can't
Yes.
manifest them as quickly as they arrive. So I have been getting better in the last few years. I want to bring things into being rather than just having all these ideas. So that has been really helpful. Okay, pick one, focus on it,
Right.
bring it into being, and then know that I'm never going to get to all the ideas.
Mhm.
But also seeing how things come together. Like I recently did a series on the podcast about the combination of the clairs and the chakras. which was incredible because then it was integrating things, going deeper into things, and also new things came through, but in the context of that bigger body of work.
Okay.
So that's been helpful to me so that I'm not just overthinking. Let's bring it down. Let's make it happen.
How do I get this all together? I'm the same way, you know, I'm an Aries, so I'm the ram, but I also have many ideas and I always have many balls in the air. I work hard. And for me, it's about that balance too, finding that balance, knowing what truly is meant to come through today. And so I keep hearing the push behind my right side, which is always the sacred sexuality that we talked about with you. So number three, the life lesson for you. This is called, where is it? Lost Lands, Soul Memories and Gifts. You've done this before. And so recognize the arch there and the beautiful blues and pinks and the water. I feel like water could play a huge role in this sacred sexuality aspect of the work that you may be going towards. It feels to me like it's big, it's scary, it's trusting yourself, trusting others. Those two things are pretty much the life lesson for you, is trusting yourself and trusting others. That also feels like it keeps coming through, not being so hard on yourself and not trying to squash down who you are. Because as you're evolving into this new beautiful flower, right, we have to go through that transformation that's scary, that's overwhelming, that we don't understand, or we don't always see the full big picture yet. That's sort of some of the life lessons that are around that for you.
Yes, I would agree. In many things that you've mentioned so far, I was a hypersensitive child. I almost died at 6 months old because I had pneumonia and allergies and allergic to different things. All of my closest family members struggling with addiction, both of my parents with alcohol, my older sister with drugs and alcohol.
Mhm.
That the people pleasing, trying to rescue everyone around me was huge. Healing codependency has been a massive part of my own personal journey, as well as healing myself, like prioritizing myself. I'm going to die if I don't get a handle on my own human health issues. Yet there's still a way, people pleaser, not wanting people to dislike me, not wanting people to be pissed off at me, and talk about sex as a supercharged topic to make sure people are going to be mad. In this point in reality, you talk about anything, somebody's going to be mad. I think it's
Yes.
part of what's happening in the world is this massive explosion of polarization and this divide and conquer strategy, which sadly works and is happening. So part of it is my own willingness to be in the fire of standing in my power and being willing to be in the light and the shadow of magnetizing the people who want to be part of what I'm doing, who I am, what I'm talking about, and also being able to hold the shadow side of like, how dare you? How dare you talk
Right.
about these forbidden things? How dare you be a single woman empowered in her body and her sexuality? Like, that's not allowed. Well, watch me.
Here I go. Watch me. So the last card is called Called, Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step up. And you can't make this up.
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
It's what you're walking through the door. You're going through a huge transformation right now. These things are scary to you, but they're scary to other people too. When I heard it too, I was like, what? Are you serious? Like, I don't know if I'm ready to go here because I've always been a very sexual being. I've always been very in touch with my body. I know what I want, I know how to express it. And it took me a long time to get back to this space that yes, I am a sexual being. Yes, I'm very energetically, sexually charged. I'm an Aries. I run head in first into everything that I do. I talk about the love of light of Mother Mary, but Mother Mary also brings great transformation that she brought through my book. Now I'm going to go over here now and talk about sex with Christelle, and we're going to bring it up and discuss it. Okay, let's see where this goes. Like, so for both of us, I think today's podcast was a eye-opening, awakening experience as we talk about it on the eclipse that's coming tomorrow. We're on a precipice of new great change that's coming and being ushered in.
Yes.
And it's going to take a little bit of that time to sort of adjust it and get our feet wet and see what does that look like for each of us.
It's a big time for me in this stepping into a greater sense of power, releasing the remnants of the people pleaser. I've had this massive breakthrough recently, which relates to this whole sensuality, sexuality thing, is that like for my entire life, people have called me cute. And I assumed at like a certain age, I would grow out of cute. How can I be 51 and you're still calling me cute? Whatever. But the thing that I realized recently is cute is safe for other people. Where it's like if I go into my seductress energy, if I go into the forbidden aspects of my sensuality and sexuality, oh no, that is not going to be okay with a lot of people. And
Right.
so for me, moving out of cute into embodying, embracing my sensual creative power, which to me is what sexuality is like
Yes.
it's power to create. It is sensuality. It's being in this human body and saying, this is amazing. And that erotic charge that isn't just about sex, but is about creating and enjoying this human experience. I'm a heck yes to that.
Yeah. It's exciting and scary and everything all rolled into one. And that's, I think, where you're going with your sacred sexuality. I'm going with the star seeds and the celestial beings. I've been writing a lot more. My next Crystalline 2 book is coming out. I just finished Anthony's second book. I'm on fire when it comes to my writing, and all this stuff is coming in. And I'm like, and you want me to say what? You want me to talk about what? I totally feel it. I'm ready for the new change and what that is, and I'm ready to step into that purpose. So I'm excited to see what's happening for all of us.
Yes. Would you be willing to go over the cards, each of the cards again, with a synopsis of what that means?
So this card is the Courageous Peony, and it says multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. And I think it's interesting. We started with let yourself be seen, and we ended with it's time to step up.
Yes.
So that is the peony. And think of it like the flower, the rose, we're blooming, right? It's a process that we're all going through while we're here to create what it is we're really here to create. The next card was the empathic star seed. And that says energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. And so that goes back to being the starseed, being empathic, really taking on things of others, how we grew up, what we were told, the people around us. And people pleasing is a big thing for a lot of people. That really takes a toll on all of us. And stepping into that new energy, there will be no more of that. The third one was Lost Lands. And that's where we talk about soul memories or gifts. You've done this before. So even though it's fearful, even though it feels scary, you've done this before. You're meant to do this now again. And it's about stepping clearly into what that is for you, which is the sacred sexuality. Card 4 was soul gifts and training. You're being called. It's time to step up.
Yes, I love that one. And it's interesting, as you mentioned on video, it's hard to see the cards, but that one is the easiest to see for
Mhm.
me. It's like this
Yeah.
giant door. It's like the robe looks kind of like purple-ish, wine colored, which when I first started seeing my future self, she's so often like wearing that color robe or like that color long gown. So it's fascinating. I feel that. Often our soul puts us in positions where it's like, I can't currently avoid the transformation, the invitation. Like I cannot hide right now because of all the pressure that is on me, because of what is happening in the world. It's like, I'm going through this door. There's no other way. I am doing it. Here we go. So it feels so powerful to receive this reading and session from you to clarify, verify, and also highlight this part. Sensuality, sexuality is a massive part of my personal business, Christelle Arcucci. Yet it has not at all been part of Sedona Soul
Mm.
Sisters. So it's fascinating to me that you showed up before this recording. They're like, they said talk about sacred sexuality. I was like, well, that is not part of the plan.
Surprise.
Surprise. Yet, what I do know in this period since the time that I purchased the Sedona Soul Sisters, I've been in this question of what is the difference between my business and Sedona Soul Sisters, and what parts are coming together, what parts are shifting, what parts are being left out. And from my perspective, probably from my fear, I've been like, the sacred sexuality is just going to be in my business. And clearly, my soul has another plan. I am so grateful for what you have offered me today and surprised, honestly, because that was not how I was moving forward with what's next. Yet I received the invitation, and thank you for that. The last thing I'd like to complete with is, who are starseed readings best for? What are the things somebody is struggling with that can benefit the most from signing up for a starseed reading with you? Like, who is the ideal person and what they are challenged by?
Often the ideal client for a starseed reading is somebody that feels out of place, somebody that feels like they don't belong here, somebody that struggled their entire life with being different or weird, somebody that's looking for answers to try to understand why it is that they have been in this place that they don't feel like they're home, and they can't ever find the place where they feel like they're home. Or if you have a child and your child is sort of hypersensitive, sounds, smells, stuff like that, you definitely would benefit from understanding more about that child, the big picture perspective of why that child came here. And it's not just for that child, it's for you as well. And so it opens up more doors for you to start to see, where can you be embodying those qualities? Like, everything is connected, right? My daughter came here to teach me. I'm here to teach my daughter. And as I grow on my path and my journey, she will grow on her path and her journey. And there's so much more for her to do while she's here as this starseed baby. I'm excited to see what goes from there. And I'm excited to see the more clients that I have that are learning more about starseeds, because it's going to start to blow up in the next 6 months to a year, that we're going to see a lot more connection with extraterrestrials and other beings. So now's the time.
How does the starseed reading support people in being more comfortable in their humanness? Because I could see somebody wondering, but if I become more connected with my galactic nature or my starseed nature, won't that make it harder for me to belong on Earth? So how does the reading support people in feeling that connection, but then also right now I'm here in this human experience on planet Earth?
Yeah, because it's not just one aspect or the other. When I talk about mind, body, soul, we have to have all of those aspects with us in balance. And often, as intuitive like I am, I want to be out there in the ethers all the time, and I forget about my physicality of my body. That's something that I struggle with. So learning both sides, what is that? You're going to start to learn when you connect with, when I take you on the journey, you're going to feel, you're going to see, you're going to know, or you're going to hear. And once that awakening comes within you, you're not going to be able to sort of push it away anymore and just think, oh, well, this is just my human self struggling through this, right? Because your soul is guiding you, it's pushing you to where it wants you to go. And you have to listen to those calls. When you're called, you're called. You cannot fight those calls.
Yes. I had an experience several years ago about this connection with healing energy. There was a really strong message that came through, what I call a galactic connection. And so many of my healing gifts coming from that galactic nature, that it actually strengthens my confidence in my healing gifts. Whereas, like, just my human is just like, yeah, but where did you learn this? But when I tune into the galactic lineage, it's like I've been doing this for thousands of years and thousands of lifetimes, right? Like, it
Yes.
actually supports my confidence in the healing gifts that I'm offering, or the intuitive gifts that I'm offering, that they don't make logical sense why I know them or where they came from. It boosts my confidence having that connection to a lineage that is beyond Earth.
Right. Or that the human mind can't conceptualize.
Right. That doesn't make logical sense at all. Well, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. And I will link in the show notes how you can book a Starseed reading with Terri-Ann virtually. And I encourage you all to do that. And thank you so much for being here. Any closing thoughts, Terri-Ann?
Thank you for having me. I feel very blessed to be able to share and be in the space that I'm in today. So I'm excited and I'm blessed.
Thank you for being a part of our community. I'm honored to support your embodied spiritual awakening. Did you resonate with the Star Seed teachings today? Dive deeper into your cosmic origins and discover your true potential with a personalized starseed reading. Terri-Ann, our intuitive guide, offers one-on-one sessions on Zoom to help you unlock the mysteries of your galactic heritage. Whether you're seeking clarity about your life purpose, struggling with sensitivity, or simply curious about your starseed nature, Terri-Ann can provide invaluable insights. Embrace your cosmic truth. Book your starseed reading with Terri-Ann today at sedonasoulsisters.com/Terri-Ann. Leave a review and follow on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, breathe gently, listen to your guidance, and create miracles.